Hello, my name is Chris Egan. I'm the site manager here for our Oklahoma City Training Center. I'm a retired AWACS pilot by trade. I retired as a lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force, and my last active duty assignment, I was the commander of the AWACS schoolhouse here at Tinker. So lots of experience training air crews, and absolutely delighted to have been given the opportunity about 5 years ago to transition to being a simulator instructor, and about a year ago took over as the site manager. And I am absolutely thrilled to be out there teaching kids about aviation. I am living a dream. I am literally living a dream, something I wanted to do from the time I was 5, 6 years old. Saw the movie Top Gun back in 1986, was provoked to want to do this. Never thought it was going to happen, and I look forward every single day to coming here, teaching people how to achieve their dreams. It's awesome. We are responsible for training all of the AWACS crew members that are going to be pilots, navigators, and flight engineers. We train on the order of about 44 pilots a year, somewhere around 20 to 22 navigators a year, and 20 to 24 flight engineers a year. And those are folks that are coming right straight out of Air Force pipelines, getting ready to transition to AWACS. On top of that, there's 4 combat squadrons here at Tinker, and we also provide all the continuation training for them to help make sure that they're combat ready and ready to go. There's no place else that trains folks how to fly AWACS other than right here in Oklahoma City. This is where you come first. When I was the commander out at the 966, I used to make the comparison, the 66 is the mother road. It's the mother road to AWACS, and it's the mother road through the state of Oklahoma. So you show up here, you come through our CAE facility, and then you transition out to the 966 at Tinker Air Force Base, and they get you squared away, and then you're flying on airplanes. We are a commercial facility that happens to be providing incredible support to the United States Air Force for their E3 training. We've been doing it for the better part of 25 years. This facility has been in place for 21 years.
The simulator that we use is incredible. Full motion, so it gives you the feel of actually flying in the jet with 180 degrees viewing with screens so that you can really immerse yourself in the training. Total time that I've spent in the simulator is probably around 100 hours just on my own, and then for training, the initial training, another 20 to 40 hours on top of that. You start off in the simulator to prepare yourself, but I would say relative to commercial pilots or airline pilots, we fly a lot more in the jet instead of simulator-only training. But we continue to train in the simulator throughout our careers.
In the spirit of making sure that we have a complete crew resource management facility in place, the flight engineer runs all of the checklists, and so there was you could hear my voice and you could see my hands reaching up and actuating the throttles, verifying that certain things were in certain positions, whether it be switches, levers, and then I'm calling all out of checklists, the checklist items, and then I'm waiting to hear back the correct response in the pursuit of exceptional checklist discipline and crew resource management. On top of that, as a simulator instructor, I'm also monitoring what the pilots are doing. I'm playing air traffic control, not anywhere as near as good as what our Oklahoma City air traffic controllers do, but I'm simulating that, and I'm also simulating the role of the navigator. And we do that as instructors here to make sure that we are giving these students and the active combat crew that come over, we're trying to give them the most realistic experience, making sure that they're hearing it the right way, they're practicing it the right way, and if they're not responding the right way, we chime in immediately and make sure that they get it right. So it's our job as a simulator team here to kind of create that full comprehensive learning environment for them.
Both pilots are capable of flying the jet from either side. Really, we would describe it as a pilot flying and a pilot monitoring. Pilot monitoring will get the gear for the pilot flying, they'll get the flaps, and that's just making the aircrafts more flyable for the pilot because their hands are full of flying the aircrafts. So we are basically deconfiguring for them so that they can make the jet more flyable.
The simulator is really effective for being able to throw the full kitchen sink at you. They can compound emergencies and add extra things in there and hopefully have a bad day in the sim so that you never have to have it in the jet.
There's a huge industry that a lot of people think is, just kind of falling apart. It's quite the opposite. So whether you are working on airplanes in the maintenance overhaul process, or whether you're flying airplanes, whether you're in the process of building airplanes, whether you're doing things with drones, I mean, the economy here is just blowing up with aerospace and aviation opportunities.
I believe students should consider a career in aviation or aerospace at large, just because of how close to the limit we actually get. You're really on the fine line of engineering, of skill, of math, science. It's the combination of all of those things that really makes it exciting. I actually started out as an engineer working on planes, and then kind of said, you know, that sounds like a lot more fun than sitting in a cubicle. I want to go fly one of those. So worked my way up to being able to fly.
So it's funny because when I went to college, I actually wanted to be a doctor. And I had the opportunity to fly in a glider while I was in school. And I think the best way that I could describe it was freedom. It was unlike anything I'd ever experienced. I remember when I landed, I ran to my friends and told them it was the coolest thing I've ever done in my life. And from there, I've kind of had the aviation bug. I had the opportunity to fly a few other, powered aircraft, and it just seemed like the natural decision.
I have a computer science degree. I'm an engineering sort of guy by trade who was told that, hey, you make the pilot age cutoff by 2 days. Do you want to be a pilot? And so I abandoned those computer science pursuits and went into aviation. And I think about how I fall back on that math and that science all the time. I've gone into numerous classrooms when my kids were in junior high, and I would work with the math teachers and the science teachers. And many of us, as we're going through school, we never think we're going to use algebra. And I would show them about 5 really quick algebra examples that we do in the first 5 minutes of flying an airplane. And watching the experience that we have here in the simulator, all of that stuff, an aircraft vector, paying attention to what the winds are, the tower's reporting, all of that science has to be translated through math into some sort of application that you then turn around and apply to flying an airplane safely.
To me, aerospace is problem solving. It's running into new challenges, is being able to create things. I think the opportunities are endless. There's a lot of ground that hasn't been covered yet. And like I previously mentioned, it's that freedom aspect. It's that doing things that have never been done before.
If you think airplanes are cool and you live in the state of Oklahoma, there are opportunities abound for you. You need to dig in, you need to start reading some books, start talking to your teachers, start talking to your friends, start asking your parents who their friends are that are in the airplane business. And I think you'll find out that everybody in the state of Oklahoma has a connection to the airplane business. And I hope that that continues and does nothing but grows.